Good morning, everybody. This is my third broadcast from my ISS, Independent Shed Station. It's June the 5th, Monday, June the 5th, and it's a wet Monday morning in Wales. And today, specifically, I'm wanting to promote my Summer of Love poster. So I'm offering to put this poster here. I want to distribute this all over the country so that we can have a universal celebration of love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's a very corny old sentiment, but never so true. What we've seen recently in Britain has just been so sad. People driven by hate to hurt and kill other people. This is insanity. And I just heard the good news this morning that the Ariana Grande concert in Manchester went off very well, and people are starting to heal and unite really together. We need love more than anything. Specifically, this is 50 years since, for me, I'm celebrating, putting out a message of celebrating 50 years of Krishna consciousness and the rebirth of our mother culture. Back in 1967, Swami Prabhupada founded the Hare Krishna movement, and he was on stage with the Grateful Dead, Allen Ginsberg, I believe Janis Joplin was there, and this extraordinary man, this was the 1967 was the year, famous Summer of Love. It was the year that Krishna consciousness really took off in the world. And from what I've heard from senior devotees who heard the story of when Swami Prabhupada entered the Avalon Ballroom in San Francisco, apparently everybody fell to the floor and bowed. Apparently you could hear chains hitting the floor, even the Hell's Angels apparently, so the story goes, bowed down, just in respect of this extraordinary man. And he came with a message of pure love. No different in essence from the message that Jesus Christ came with 2,000 years ago. And as my Gurudev once very famously said, there is only one religion, and that is love and affection. The purpose of religion is to learn how to love God and to love each other. That's all. When I hear people committing crimes and doing horrible, violent things in the name of religion, I'm just thinking they haven't understood the first thing about any religion. Religion isn't about hurting people and fighting in essence, but anyway, we know the history has been, religion has been used for political purposes and all sorts of dirty purposes. So there's a massive gap, a massive opportunity really in the education market. Specifically three things aren't taught within our education system. What is life, what is love, and who is God? If it just came down to two things, I would say how to love and how to be happy. And if it just boiled down to one thing, what our education system does not teach us is how to be happy. So I just want to make my contribution this year, 2017, celebrating 50 years of Krishna consciousness. I was raised with the idea, I was raised a traditional Christian Baptist idea of God as rather a scary old man who would punish people with an eternal hell if they didn't obey his commandments. I didn't really like that idea very much, but I kind of accepted it. And then when my mother died when I was 19, I felt compelled to go looking for answers. I wasn't satisfied with this idea, just one life, and either you're rewarded in heaven or you're punished in hell for eternity. It just didn't seem right to me. Anyway, I went searching, and after a few years of searching, I met the Krishna devotees, and they actually had the answers to the questions that I was asking, and in fact they had answers to questions that I hadn't even thought of. I just want to show you a favourite picture of mine of Krishna, and it breaks away from the idea of God as a vicious old patriarch who wants to punish people for not obeying him. So here's Krishna. This is naughty Krishna getting told off by his mum. And there's something absolutely beautiful about that. Krishna, God as a family person who has parents, he has a mother and father, and of course they're role-playing, he's the original person, but he becomes absorbed in these loving pastimes, and he's a family person, and he has brothers and sisters and so many children, and we're all God's children, and Krishna means all attractive. And if we want to learn how to be happy, we want to learn what love is. I had a conversation the other day with someone who was trying to convince me that love is a chemical reaction. It's all to do with pheromones. Well, I can understand there is an aspect of pair bonding, animal attraction. There's definitely something chemical there that causes people, sexual attraction, basic sexual attraction, but this doesn't explain love at all. As I've put on this poster, I've written on this poster, there's one word for love in English, there are 64 words for love in Sanskrit, the root language of a love-centred culture that has inundated the world over the last 50 years and risen to displace money-centred thinking and bring people of all races, colours and creeds together in ever-increasing celebrations of the bliss of pure love through music, dance and song. So our education system, our standard education system, gives us this idea that the universe has exploded into existence out of nothing, with no explanation of how that really happened, and that life formed accidentally, that as Richard Dawkins famously described, that life is a happy chemical accident, microbes formed miraculously and eventually over millions of years mutated into monkeys, which mutated into men, and here we are today at the peak of evolution and human development. And anybody who actually looks into this theory will understand that it is transparently nonsensical. Swami Prabhupada said, the more we kick out Darwin's theory, the more we advance in spiritual consciousness. We're not mutated monkeys. We've been given this human opportunity of life to learn how to love to the highest degree, how to love each other, ultimately how to love God, and go home to the spiritual world where we belong. And what an opportunity we've been given. Human life is not for the cold pursuit of money. I recently took some lessons. I've started taking lessons from a very inspiring man, and I don't mind promoting him, and I'm sure he won't mind me mentioning him, a man called Andy Harrington. He wrote a book called Passion into Profit, became a Sunday Times bestseller, and he gives people tuition on how to speak and how to make presentations. Very business orientated, and I was happy to go along and listen to Andy speak for 5 hours, one day up in London a couple of weeks ago, and I basically want to learn just how to be an effective speaker. We can convert our life and our time, our life energy into money if that's all we want, but it's not enough. It won't satisfy the soul. What we've been given, these human lives that we've been given, it's something like being given a Stradivarius violin and all the money we need to learn how to play it to perfection. So the human body and mind, this is the instrument with which to play beautiful music, and the time, the duration of our life, that's the actual wealth that we've been given in order to learn the lessons, and the lessons are how to love, to learn how to love. So when we compare our money-centred culture, this religion that we call capitalism, to the original human culture described in the Vedas and described in varying ways in other scriptures, we can see that there's something missing in our culture. People fighting and killing each other for no good reason at all. And even people that are successful in pursuing money as an end in itself, they get no satisfaction. It's said that we don't get any happier than when our basic needs are met. So as long as we've got enough food and shelter and warmth, somewhere nice to live, good company, some work to do, we're fine. Adding millions of pounds to that doesn't actually make a person any happier. What's included in this poster that I want to promote also is a map, and it's a mystical map of Britain, southern Britain particularly, but it's relevant to all of Britain, it's relevant to all the world. But what this map conveys, it's like an energetic map. Goes way back to the time when Stonehenge was built, and our predecessors had a much deeper understanding of the energy flows of the earth. They wouldn't dream of ripping the earth apart to try to extract gas and oil the way that we did it, like this insane fracking. They wouldn't dream of doing anything so disrespectful. So one of the circles on that map is referred to in old texts, the Welsh triads, as a circle of perpetual choirs. Now there's one very interesting study of this circle by a man called John Gibson Forty, and the interconnectedness of all things, and that map in the middle, let me just put it up there. You can see it's not a perfect circle. He actually doused the energy lines. It's a 125-mile wide approximate circle centred on the Malvern Hills, and he doused 10 spokes, if you like, out to 10 major centres on the perimeter of that circle, including Glastonbury, Stonehenge, Llantwit Major, Llandovery, Carno, Ellesmere, Uttoxeter, Croft Hill near Leicester, Stony Stratford near Milton Keynes. And he doused energy lines going from one church to another. It connected up hundreds and hundreds of churches in a massive pattern But he also discovered that one of the extraordinary things in one church in Malvern, he doused the energy on a Saturday, and the energy line was about 30 feet wide. He doused the energy lines again on Sunday after there had been a church service, after people had been singing the praises of God, chanting God's names. And the width of the energy line had increased to over 200 feet. And he was quite astonished by this, clearly. And he measured it again throughout the week, and he noticed that the energy line decreased, and then all throughout the week down to 30 feet, and then expanded back out to over 200 feet after the Sunday. So this is just some extraordinary evidence of reciprocal interaction with Mother Earth. The Vedas describe that the Earth is actually a conscious being. In fact, everything is conscious on some level, a product of consciousness. And of course the universe itself, one of many, many universes, is a product of consciousness. So basically that's a testimony to the power of chanting the holy names. I'm offering this poster, please, to promote the Summer of Love and the chanting of God's holy names. If you'd like a copy, please get in touch with me at The Love Party on Facebook. Oh, believe it, that was the wrong poster. The Love Party on Facebook, it's at the bottom there. And I'm wanting to put these posters out. This is an A3 size poster. I can put it in fold it in 4 and put it in a C5 envelope. And I'm wanting to put these out. I just want them out and distributed to cover the costs of printing. £3 each plus postage. Please get in touch, send me your address, and I'll post them out to you. And I'd also like to do a deal. I'm quite happy to send you half a dozen if you want to send me £10. And the rights to reproduce if you want to copy, make a copy of these posts. I just really want to get the message out there. Let's really make this a Summer of Love 2017 and really celebrate the beauty of life, love, peace and happiness, and all you need is love. And I spent 5 hours in the company of Andy Harrington, who's written his marvellous book Passion into Profit, which I recommend to anybody. But really, I want to convert my passion into prem. Prem is the Vedic word for pure love. I spent 5 hours, 6 hours listening to Andy Harrington a week or so ago, but I've also had the good fortune to spend 19 years having the direct tuition of a self-realised master, His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, who became the leader of the Hare Krishna movement. And at the age of 75 he set out in 1996. He embarked on a 14-year world tour just to remind us all how to love. And there's one of his wonderful little books is called The Way of Love, and it's a transcript of a talk that he gave at the Custard Factory in Birmingham with all the religious leaders of Birmingham present, just reminding everyone that the purpose of life is to learn how to love. So please get in touch with me. My name's Madan Mohan. Madan to my friends, and please get in touch with me at the Love Party on Facebook. Send me your PayPal me, or send me a cheque if you need to. and I'll get these posters out, and please help. Let's make this a great summer of love to celebrate life, love and beauty. Thank you very much indeed.